is it still worth creating content of the things that maybe happened over the last several days, or do you just cut it off immediately now that the closing ceremonies have happened?
This episode is brought to you by SocialGenius. That's where Jeff and I get to actually teach you what to do on social and how to grow it. Jeff, why should people join?
You know, if you are the type of professional that wants to do it yourself, and maybe your budget's a little bit lighter and you can't afford to hire somebody to do all the editing, do the fancy stuff for you, we're going to teach you how to do all this stuff. And the truth is, most of these social platforms are now favoring authenticity. So it's shooting these green screens and doing remixes and understanding what's trending. Those are the things that matter the most to your social strategy. And so if you like to be inside of a tight culture of people that are like-minded and want to do it themselves, then SocialGenius is perfect for you.
We'll see you there. You'll never find it for less than this anywhere else. It's very inexpensive. We'll see you on the other side.
Tristan, the Olympics are over, but I feel like we still have things to discuss because since the last episode, more things happen. And I think it's also worthy to discuss, is it still worth creating content of the things that maybe happened over the last several days, or do you just cut it off immediately now that the closing ceremonies have happened?
Dude, come on. This was like one of the most epic Olympics ever. And we have to give thanks to social media for that, number one. And for NBC paying Snoop Dogg $500,000 a day to show up at the Olympics, because that instantly grabbed everybody's attention. It's like, I'll take $500,000 a day, Jeff.
Dude, I didn't know that.
I was looking it up last night and I went on a little rabbit hole. That's how much I read. Now I could be wrong, but that's pretty crazy.
My God. Just pay me to be there. I mean, shit.
But dude, the numbers are coming in. This is like one of the most viewed Olympics ever of all time.
Really? I wonder
it makes sense.
Yet all those people boycotted.
That was just day one, dude. After that, it was all over. There's no way that I wouldn't be looking up the Australian breakdancer if I didn't see it on TikTok like every other.
Newest craze, man. That's the newest craze, and that's the trend for this week, I would say. And we were talking about it last night via text, and whether one of us is going to do some form of a post about that.
Well, look, the answer is, yeah, I think you've got this week to kind of wrap it up, put all the touches to the trends that you thought were important, whether it's the silver medalist handgun guy, right? Or the breakdancing Australian. What is it?
The pole vaulter.
The pole vaulter. The pole vaulter. Mm-hmm. And I was listening to a podcast this morning by Mel Robbins, who talked about the pommel horse, that the U.S. finally won a medal after not winning one in gymnastics for 16 years.
Men's.
Yep. And it was the pommel horse that did it. It was the last one. And the guy's practically like, he can't see practically. He's like thick glasses.
Was it the white guy?
The white guy. Yeah.
Yeah.
He's kind of fidgety, anxious.
Yeah. Seemed like a fan favorite.
Yeah. Very good. Very good. Anyway, dude, there's a lot to choose from this week. I think it's time to wrap it up, bring it into your business. You know, I was thinking, I'll tell you exactly, as I was listening to Mel Robbins about this pommel horse guy, and she was saying, we've got to embrace the bronze medal mindset. And she's like, the people that win gold, obviously, they're like amazingly happy. Some of them, after they reach the gold, feel like, well, what else do I do now? I won the gold, right? Well, I guess I keep going. But sometimes they feel empty a few years after. Second, when you get silver medal, the instant feeling is, shit, I got second. I was so close. What if I did this? What if I did that? The unhappiness behind the silver medal is real. He goes, but the bronze is like almost everyone who wins the bronze, was the scientific research done. Everyone who wins the bronze is like happy they medaled. They know they've made it. Barely. It's like, damn, I'm so lucky. Right? They come in and they think, I know I can do better next time, but damn, I'm so happy, blessed, I made it. They're the ones that are smiling the biggest right after the gold medal. It's like, and then I thought about real estate agents because, we have a lot of real estate agents in this. If we have the brand new agent mindset where I'm so blessed that I just got my license, there's no ceiling to this thing, I'm going to kill it. Because where does that mindset go? Typically after you've been in it for a while, you're like, oh, it didn't work out for me. I can't door knock. I can't cold call. The NAR settlement sucks. I can't believe it. All this crap that builds up. And I thought of the bronze medal mindset was like the new licensee mindset. Anyway, that's how I'm bridging this, right? Because I'm trying to find the trends in this to bring it to real estate. And it isn't just about the cool, funny memes that we're going to be posting this whole week. It's about other things too.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's what I was thinking, Jeff.
I like it. I was even thinking about one thing you didn't mention to take it off that subject is the range of emotions that occurred with the alleged transgender athletes, and how it started with just like outrage and how could you let these, female/males pound the crap out of someone who's a female. Then it comes out that, wait a minute, it's just some chromosome defect. They were born women, but they produce more testosterone or something like that. And now all of a sudden, everybody, 1 second, they're pouncing on the Olympics. Not really these people. It's not their fault. But then all of a sudden, it was very defensive, which I learned, of course, through my post last week.
It learned the hard way, but that's okay. You put yourself out there as to catch a trend.
Yeah,
you're not on either side of this, right? In fact, I know you. You're a very kind human being. You're just trying to see what's trending to catch people and have them think a little bit different. It's like, oh, what about this side? Or what about this side? Right?
Yeah.
Did I get you?
It was interesting. Yeah, it was very interesting. And in the grand scheme of things too, it proves to you as it relates to social how like channel or tunnel focused people become on a post when the post really had nothing to do with that. It was just simply an analogy, but in my case, the post was very much really more about the real estate side of things and how the government's, allowed in big industry to snatch up real estate. But yet people became so tunnel focused on as if I was like throwing stones at this person, which I wasn't. It was just simply going off the allegations. But, I think it's a lesson. I thought about doing a follow-up post to it, but I think, and then we can talk about this for a second as it relates to social, is like when you post something that causes people to attack you, which is exactly what happened on that post, what do you do?
Good point. What do you do?
What did I do?
Yeah.
I defended the post. I did not take it down. I did not do a rebuttal because I also thought to myself, and by the way, my wife and I were traveling, so she even told me the morning, because we were flying that day when I posted it, I showed it to her and she's like, she's not transgender. You probably shouldn't post that. And I'm like, whatever. Like I'm traveling. I don't feel like messing with it. I did change. I kept the post up as is. That was a post that we put into our content spreadsheet, which I did adjust, and I removed anything transgender related, just because I provided to masses. I didn't want to create that chaos. I didn't want to create that pain for someone else, but I defended it, not trying to be difficult, but I, several of the people who, really attacked me, I was like, listen, can we focus on the point of the post, which has nothing to do with the transgender? It was simply, but, people were jumping on me. Oh, what a, for lack of a better term, what a slimy move to use this as clickbait, blah, 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 blah. And I don't know. I don't know what the right answer is, or the right response. I don't know. What would you have done?
I would have So I've been there lots of times because I post up a lot of shit like you. And I usually say, oh, good point. Oh, I didn't think of that. Oh, amazing. Or I put little hearts if I don't fully agree, right? But what I think people want when they're posting their point of view, or they want to teach you a lesson, I'm doing it in quotes if you're not watching this on YouTube, teach you a lesson, right? Is they just want to be heard. And so what I've noticed is if I just say, oh, I didn't think of that, right? And in some cases, Jeff, I hadn't, because I just post stuff because I want to go first, right? I'm hitting the trend. Do I screw up? Yes. But I'm also prepared to take the heat, right? So I say, oh, I didn't think of that, or thank you. Oh, right, great. But I leave it up. I typically leave it up, right? Unless it's like some crazy ass thing that I was like, I just wasn't thinking. Hasn't happened though. I think I've left everything up. But I think you bring up a good point. A lot of us don't know how to respond to the hate, the anger, or the disappointment, because people are eventually, when you post enough, they're going to come after you. And it may not be like 1 million people, 1,000 or 100.
All it takes is a few. All it takes is one.
It'll just be 1 or 2. I was about to say that. It's like, and those are the ones that's where you start learning. It's like, how do I handle this? Because internally, if it's your first time or second even, you're going to feel anxious. You're going to feel some hurt. You're going to feel some anger. You're going to start doubting. You're going to maybe even think, some of you may think, well, maybe social media is just not for me. Maybe I shouldn't go out on a ledge to test things out. Those are all normal feelings. I've had those.
Yeah.
And I think Jeff brought up a good point. I think you just have to approach it like a human. If you feel like you did make a mistake, great. Own up to it, right? Say sorry. But if you feel like you didn't, and this is a good thing to be on both sides of this, then just say thank you. I didn't think of that. Or put a little heart if you don't want to comment. That's how I usually post little hearts. It's like, oh, people just want to be heard. Got it. I may not be right. I don't know. I think I'm right? But I don't know, because there's so many different perspectives. So here's a little heart. Thank you. That's how I see it, man.
Well, and I think another point to bring up to people is deleting your own post is actually a negative result to the algorithm, because the algorithm looks at you deleting your own post as though saying, I didn't like my own content. And I've read this before, that like you shouldn't delete your own posts. Just let them fade into the sunset effectively, because the algorithm looks at it like you don't have confidence in your own self, that you pulled down your own content. And so I think it's something worth noting. Even same thing, I think, with comments. I think never delete stuff. Just let it fade, because it will. That's exactly what I told my wife. I'm like, honestly, this will fade in a couple of days because I'm going to keep posting and it'll be buried, and I'm not too worried about it. And people will forget, because the same people are probably not the same people. They're probably the same people that are doing this to other people. And they just stalk social and get mad at people and tell people they're wrong. They'll quickly forget about me and move on to someone else. And she's like, well, you're probably going to lose followers. I'm like, honestly, 1, I don't care. 2, if I do, it'll be a handful, because most people aren't even going to see it.
Yeah. And most people that watch it, this was on Instagram, right?
Oh, yeah. Actually, it was Instagram and Facebook, but it was Facebook where the rage occurred.
Oh, I only saw it on Instagram. I'm trying to remember. I'm like, dude, I don't think I saw anything.
Nobody commented on the Instagram one, so obviously it didn't affect anybody on Instagram.
Yeah, it didn't affect me. When I watched it, first of all, I know you, right? So I don't second guess you. I'm like, oh, I know Jeff. I know exactly what he's doing, right? I go, cool, right? That, I think your core group knows you. So they're not going to, I'm not ever going to unfollow you, Jeff. I'm just like, oh, it's Jeff. And then you have the people that don't quite know you, that are like, oh, this is kind of funny, not. Here's the thing. I think with anything that blows up, it's important to, most of the time, unless it's like some crazy thing, like I said, you did crazy shit and you fucked that up. Outside of that, leave it up, because it goes viral in some cases. And then it allows you to come back to it and respond to it. Even though Jeff didn't do it, he did say he thought about it, right? Like if it would have gone nuts, Jeff, I bet you would have been like, let's respond to this, right?
Yeah.
And now you're going back to it, which is a good thing because now you found an opportunity to grow your audience and then deliver the real message that you want. Because without an audience, you can't deliver a message.
Yeah. Yeah. And somebody actually, I didn't tell you this, somebody shared it to use it as a way to basically attack me. And I'm the only one who responded to the person's post. And again, I responded with kindness, like, hey, I appreciate you, but let me explain, kind of thing. And
now I have to look it up on Facebook.
Yeah, and then the person responded with kindness. So it's like it brought the person back in.
Oh.
Which was interesting. Almost like, I was trying to talk smack, but it didn't work, and he responded with kindness. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And then at that point, you're like, they're probably like, oh, I misunderstood this one.
It was a guy by the name of Thomas Blair. Let's see if we're still friends. Yeah, we're still friends.
I'm looking you up right now, buddy.
Yep.
You said it was a reel, right? So, when did you post this?
It was Tuesday of last week.
That's why. Dude, you post a lot.
There you go.
Oh, that did very well.
Yeah.
I see it. Oh, damn. 29 comments, bro?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm going through it right now. Well, it's not loading because remember my Wi-Fi's not working. I have to connect to the wall, so I'm gonna have
Yeah, you're not missing out on much. I mean, it's over with now, but it was, again, I think it's and that's exactly what I told my wife. I'm like, I need to just take this and use it as a lesson, and maybe this is it. Maybe just talking about it on the podcast because this is what keeps and scares people off from social and posting on social because of their fear of what people will say, or maybe you say something wrong. And in this case, I was wrong. First of all, let me admit, like we scheduled it a week prior when it was still hot. And so the mistake I made was I probably should have done it quicker because then it wouldn't have been a big deal. But because it was the news had come out since then that's what it created. But again, it's just like, what are you going to do? You probably shouldn't have gone and liked it because now you just pulled it back to the top of the algorithm.
I liked it. There you go. I don't know if that helps, dude. Sorry.
I'm just kidding.
Look, whatever it is, it's social media, and in anything that you do, you're always learning and adapting, right?
Yeah.
And if you're going to have that fear and live by that fear that you're not going to go ahead and post or do things because of what somebody else is going to say, you're just not going to grow.
Yeah.
All of us are going to continually screw this up, or say something that hurts somebody, and it's all on how we respond to that allows us to continue to grow.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
that's it. Actually, I noticed there was another reply. Somebody telling me it was the worst real estate advertising they've ever seen.
Hold on. They commented. So,
yeah.
I mean,
they said, you were so ignorant. So I responded with thanks with a heart. I just followed your lead on that one.
That's so good, dude. I'm not going to like it then. There you go. All right. That's all we got. We're at the top of the
I think we're done. I think we're done with the Olympics.
Yeah.
I think this will probably be it. Although I will say I do have at least one, maybe two more Olympic posts this week. So for anybody who's wondering, should I? And I'll tell you, my post tomorrow it's got the context of just because the Olympics are over doesn't mean you had to lose the Olympic spirits. Here's the top 17 Olympic movies of all time, something like that. So just to give you guys some inspiration, anybody listening, follow that and steal it if you want, and then I challenge you all to go create an analogy video with the Australian breakdancer. That'll never get old. I don't think that'll ever get old.
I may be the highlight of the Olympics.
Interesting. I don't know, man.